Let's hear from some people in the audience. We do this on the Friday show via Discord. You can find our Discord at davidpakman.com/Discord. We are going to start today with Harry from Chicago, Illinois. Harry, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today? What can I do for you? Harry from Chicago, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thanks. Thanks for taking my call. Before we get into it, I wanted to ask you, are you still into fitness, weightlifting, that sort of jazz?
Yeah, I'm in the gym, 3-4 days a week. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you go to like a different gym or do you have workout equipment at home? Like what's the deal?
No, I go to a real gym and, there's people there and we sometimes talk about politics if I get recognized.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you should really get into natural bodybuilding, try to build out those biceps a little bit, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
all natural, Harry. I know this may come as a shock to people in the audience, but I am completely natural.
Yeah, I'm glad you're keeping away from the vitamin S, as we like to call it. Look, I wanted to
Absolutely.
ask you about so I've called about the housing market before and like
Yep.
where it's at. A lot of people like to talk about it in regards to like inflation and like things are really bad. I know that there is currently a bill that's being talked about in regards to banning Wall Street from owning single family homes. Are you
Yes,
familiar with this?
I am.
Okay. So I mean it's in the federal, Congress. I think it's dead right now. I don't know if anything's going to happen. But what do you feel is the impact of Wall Street owning these single family homes? Do you think what do you think has a bigger impact? The Wall Street owning these homes, or we don't talk about it as much, but landlords who own multiple homes, what effect do they have on the market? And lastly, one last thing before I let you talk. I know you consider healthcare to be something that shouldn't be part of the marketplace. Cell phones, we can maybe let the market decide the cost of,
Yes.
but healthcare, maybe we need to let a single player PIN come in. How do you feel about housing? Is that something that you think it should be completely in the market or a little more regulated? Just give me your thoughts.
So a couple different things here. First of all, when Wall Street owns single family homes, they make them more expensive, so it reduces affordability for people. They can destabilize local markets where the local market will become decoupled from the overarching economic and employment situation because Wall Street's buying up a bunch of properties without the market actually being able to support it. It can make community preservation more difficult because when Wall Street comes in and buys up a lot of single family homes, they can start to dictate kind of the feel of neighborhoods through their large ownership shares in some of these neighborhoods. It can be monopolistic. So I think there's a lot of negatives to allowing Wall Street to own single family homes in the way that they've been purchased up. You can also make the case that there are some good things. Like, for example, they may see an opportunity in problematic neighborhoods. They could come in and they could afford to buy 200 houses and fix them all up. And all of a sudden you've got a better neighborhood. The problem is who can then afford to buy those houses? It's almost certainly not going to be the people that were foreclosed on, right? So I think
Right.
there's a lot of cons, some pros, and in the pros, there are also some cons that are hidden. Now, it seems that what you were talking about with the second question is you're essentially talking about decommodifying housing, right? You're saying, what if
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
houses as something that you trade on the market based on what you can afford, you say we're going to take it out of that, sort of like I think healthcare should be done. Is that more or less the question?
I think the answer is yes. Do you think it's necessary for us to decommodify housing, or do you think regulations that prevent people from owning multiple homes, or landlords that own more than one home? And I'm talking about private people. I'm not just talking about Wall
Yeah.
Street, right? I think that these people are having an outsized effect on the housing market because they own so many homes. They have such a great position compared to people who are renting, and I
Yeah.
feel like things are getting worse. Do you think the decommodification needs to happen more so where the government's giving people money for housing, or do you think more so of like a regulatory framework that prevents people from owning multiple homes is a better
So
idea?
first of all, I can't imagine any legal basis where you're going to prevent private people from buying multiple homes. So I'm super practical. I don't even think that's worth going after. And it just doesn't make any sense to pursue that. Even our members of Congress, even though they mostly rent in DC and own a home somewhere else, some of them own a home in DC and elsewhere. And like, it's just so obvious that if the proposition is ban owning more than one property, that's a losing proposition.
That's
So
off the table. What about like a multi, home ownership tax? Do you think that has any sort of that'll ever have any weight or anything like that?
So that already exists to some degree in that there are dramatically fewer and sometimes no benefits to non-primary residences. It varies by city and state. It's probably not as robust and rigorous as it could or should be. But here's my thought on this. I am not for the decommodification of housing completely. When you do that, there's a bunch of good studies on this, and some of the things that are, but again, we haven't totally done it, so we don't know for sure. But what some studies believe would happen if you decommodified housing, you are creating a situation where the real estate industry is a huge part of many economies. It just is a reality. It contributes to jobs and economic growth. It supports so many different industries. It seems that if you decommodify housing, you, number one, are removing a lot of the incentives for the improvement of housing, and you are therefore going to hurt so many of the industries and sub-industries that rely on that. I believe that it would be difficult to establish a bureaucracy where we scale up government's direct involvement in housing in the way that the full decommodifiers want to see. I
Right.
think there are resource allocation challenges to decommodification. And we have to be honest that the profit motive is an important aspect of some of the good things about the way housing is organized in the United States, and taken to an extreme. This is the social democrat, Northern European, a social democrat in me. Taken to an extreme, it becomes a problem. But some of that profit motive of let me consider what will make my house worth more, because this is for most households the main investment. So what I would like to see is, I know a lot of people are going to cringe at what I'm going to say, but Section 8 type housing, affordability guidelines where you say, okay, here's the median to approve a project. Here's the median income in this city. You've got to sell at least half the units to people with that income, and we're going to subsidize the difference based on affordability. I actually think there's a lot to be done there. Now, for homeless people, I think we should just house homeless people. I think the
Yeah,
economic
right.
the economic benefits are clear. The moral incentive is clear. But for me, I'm not a decommodify housing guy. What I would like to see is more programs that are supporting and income limiting certain projects.
You've given everybody a lot to think about, and I think the easy stuff we can do. I think you just said that. I agree to that. Keep getting swole, David. Thanks for taking my call. Have a great
All
day.
right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. There goes Harry, and we'll keep everybody posted on what's happening in the gym. All right. Why don't we go next to Ty from Iowa? Ty from Iowa, welcome to the program. What's on your mind?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I kind of like I'm obviously going to be voting for Biden in November. Now, obviously, there's some things that I don't agree with him on,
Okay.
but
Like what?
one thing I kind of just have been thinking, I know this happened a while ago,
Yeah.
but Trump kind of saying like that he's going to ban people who are communists or socialist, Marxist, fascist, which is funny because if he bans
Ty, you cut out right when you were saying if he bans fascists. What was your point about if he bans fascists?
oh, it's just he's banning his own voter base if he does that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that entire idea is crazy and it seems to be illegal.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of like McCarthyism. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember that.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, but it's just kind of making me think like he's becoming scarier and more authoritarian. It's just, I really don't think it would just be a really bad thing if this guy gets elected again, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's also something else I wanted to bring up. This is something that happened in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you heard about this. It was like a QAnon thing.
No, what happened?
All right. It's very disturbing, but there
Oh,
was
wait a second. Hold on. Let me explain it. Let me see if I know what are you talking about the guy who gruesomely murdered his own father on a live stream?
Well, it wasn't on a live stream, but basically it was like he like shot him and then he decapitated him
And he
like
posted a video.
on video.
He posted a video,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I did hear
Yeah,
about
he
that.
was like and I was like, what?
Crazy.
I thought it was insane.
Yes.
Yeah, just, crazy.
All right, Ty. Thank you. Ty from Iowa. Great to hear from you. The household products you buy every week impact the environment. 30 million trees are destroyed every year for toilet paper in the US alone. Our sponsor, Real, makes a sustainable toilet paper, contains no trees. It uses 100% bamboo. Real's paper is certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, meaning they are responsibly harvesting bamboo grass that's used for their paper. And bamboo toilet paper is softer and stronger than regular toilet paper. It's a win for everybody, including the planet. And while regular toilet paper is wrapped in plastic as well, Real Paper's packaging is fully plastic-free and compostable. Real Paper partners with One Tree Planted. With every box of Real that you buy, they are funding reforestation efforts around the country. So unlike the other toilet paper that cuts down trees, Real Paper doesn't use trees and is helping to actively plant trees. I have Real toilet paper on a subscription, so I don't run out. The subscription gives you an extra discount as well. Go to realpaper.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman for 30% off your first order and free shipping. The link is down below.